I am very honored today to introduce Alfonso Nathan, who's a outstanding, acclaimed licensed professional counselor. Most know him as Fonz the Therapist. He's a speaker, an Amazon best-selling author. He's worked with industry powerhouses on major campaigns and events such as Taraji P. Henson's Boris L. Henson Foundation, Black Men Heal, and a speaker at Charlemagne the God's Mental Wealth Expo. I'd like it if you could start out, Fonz, by sharing a bit about your background.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for having me, first of all. Alfonso Nathan, I'm just a regular guy that wants to heal the world one mind at a time. I got my graduate degree in clinical and counseling psychology. Undergraduate, I went to Bloomsburg University. Graduate, I went to Chestnut Hill College. I deal with everybody from my pro athletes to my recording artists to just my regular folk. In private practice, I've been in private practice since the age of 25. And it's continued to flourish, Brightside Counseling. And I love what I do. I love what I do.
Good to hear. And you mentioned in your article on Authority Magazine that you're a product of intervention. Tell me what that means.
Absolutely. I am a product of intervention. I went to a boarding school by the name of the Milton Hershey School. And if people who are familiar with the Milton Hershey School, it is a boarding school for underprivileged youth. And I came from tough backgrounds from Staten Island, New York. And, the Milton Hershey School was the first time where, I realized that interventions can change lives. It got me from a specific area, and it put me into an environment that helped me change the trajectory of my life.
What a blessing that was.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I love that you said it's crucial to remember that you can't help others unless you help yourself. What caused you to reach that conclusion?
Um, the thing is, as a therapist, you take on a lot of people's emotions, and it's important that you cannot be able to help the people around you unless you are, in the right mindset. It's like going on an airplane. When the stewardess of the airplane tells you to put on the oxygen mask and you have a child, they tell you to put it on yourself before you put on your child. So you have to be in the right mindset. I have to be in the right type of shape to be able to help others.
So, what are some ways that you do take care of yourself so that you can minister to your clients?
So one thing I'm really big about is physical health. So I make sure that I have a consistent schedule where I'm working out as well as eating right. Staying away from bad energy. So that's individuals who are just negative, these emotional vampires. I try to stay clear from them. I make sure I practice my faith. I spend time with my family and just try to have balance.
Balance. You also mentioned that one of the most challenging times in your life was when your daughter was born. Why was that, or what was it about it that challenged you?
Absolutely. My daughter, my wonderful daughter, she was a great humbling experience. She was born 12 pounds, which my wife delivered her, and we didn't know that she was 12 pounds. So she came out unresponsive, and that was the first time that I couldn't really help out the people that I loved. I had to stand back and put power to what I can control, which was really nothing. So she was unresponsive, and there was thoughts that she was going to have a brain damage and arm paralysis, and so much tough prognoses for a child. Luckily, there was no brain damage, and her Erb's palsy, which was more a limitation than anything, is going so much better now. And then she was also a cancer survivor as well. So she had a neuroblastoma at the age of 1.5. So so that also showed me that you know I have to put power where I control. I have to be able to make sure that I'm in the right mindset as we're going through these treatments, to be able to support others, as well as making sure I'm making the best decisions for myself. She's now in remission, so which is a blessing, and she's a 6-year-old diva that we couldn't even tell that she did of her beginnings.
That little girl has already been through a lot, as have you and her mother. You've
Absolutely.
mentioned twice that in addition to being a therapist, you see a personal therapist as part of your own support system. Tell me why you do that.
You have to practice what you preach. I cannot be providing the therapy and if I don't believe it myself. So it's about finding the right one, the right therapist. Sometimes you go through a couple of them. It's extra difficult when you're a therapist trying to find a therapist, but
Yeah.
it's very helpful. And it allows you to not take on the sorrows of the world by yourself, because you have to ask yourself, who's the rock to the rock? So I think it's important to have that.
I agree wholeheartedly with your conclusion. You also
Yeah.
mentioned maintaining healthy relationships with your wife and children. What are some critical habits or practices that help you maintain those relationships?
Absolutely. I'm big with quality over quantity. So when I'm present, I'm present. I'm not on my phone. I'm not just staring into space. I'm trying to create memories. And my wife, she's also in the mental health field. She's a psychiatric nurse. She's almost done being she's about to be a psychiatric nurse practitioner. So she understands the heavy burdens of this field. So that commonality really helps. We make sure we have date night. We make sure we go on trips. We stay extra communicative, and especially with our kids, we try to be as involved as possible in the things that they do, because we're creating memories. So just being just being balanced and just being present in the moment allows for that healthy relationship, and with my family.
You're kind of listing all the things that I teach the couples that I coach to.
That's right.
I love your reminder about how to eat an elephant. So how does the concept help you?
Oh, because a lot of times perspective is everything. Glass half empty, glass half full, just a beautiful glass, right? It's all about perspective. And when so much things when you have a lot of responsibilities, it feels like you have to take on everything by yourself. So my quote, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? It just means that even though this task is so big, so heavy, so much, I can't take it all on by one, all in just one bite, one situation. I have to deal with it piece by piece. It allows me to put power to what I can control, and just to let myself know that I'm human. So
At excuse me, it's part of staying present in the present moment because you can only eat one bite at a time. I really
absolutely,
appreciate,
absolutely, that's the only thing to do.
and I really appreciate the question you ask yourself, is this worthy of my energy? I find that's a question I've been asking myself more and more as I have aged and hopefully gotten wiser. Tell me how that helps you make good decisions for yourself.
Absolutely. In this world now, there's shortages in everything. There's shortages in bread, eggs, milk, but there's never a shortage on people's opinions. So what we have to realize is, okay, what's being said, what's being done. The person is saying it, one, are they qualified to do it? But is it even worth the response? Because my time, is limited and valuable. I have to ask myself, should this situation take up 30 minutes of my time that I could be providing to my kids? 30 minutes of time I could be providing to change the life of another person, or 30 minutes of my time that I can be having self-care. And if it's not a good trade-off, then I don't put energy to it. And it allows me to really stay present and stay focused on the things that are going to help me grow and help, make the world better.
It's connected to what you said earlier about staying away from emotional vampires, people that just drain your energy without it being productive.
Yeah.
I appreciate that very much. And I want to be sure you have a chance to share with us your main purpose in life.
Pablo Picasso said it best. He said, "The meaning of life is to find your gift, but the purpose of life is to give that gift away." Right. So I was blessed enough to find my gift with being able to heal. My purpose is to be able to give that gift away in many different ways, whether if it's through my books, not worth my energy, whether it's through the practice, Bright Side Counseling, whether it's through social media, at Fonz a Therapist. I'm trying to give that gift away.
You also mentioned wanting mental health to be equal in importance to maintaining physical health. And it sounds like a lot of your activities are spent supporting mental health.
Mhm. Absolutely, absolutely. It's important because mental health should be in the same light as physical health. You can, I do a lot of performance therapy for a lot of these athletes, and you can have all the talent in the world, but if your mindset is not there, you're not gonna be able to perform at your most optimal level. So it's important to make sure that your mind and your body are both being treated with the utmost respect. And that's, with the physical health, what you're putting in your body with the foods and the things like that, but also in the mental health, what you're putting in your mindset, what are you reading, what's on your socials, what's around you. So, and because all these things play a part in your full performance.
We can't separate mental from physical, really, can we?
Absolutely not. Cannot. People try to, and then that's when they dissociate or
Yes.
have these panic attacks, and that's usually what happens. So we have to align ourselves.
I want to thank you so much for spending these few minutes with me today. And if any of you who are watching this would like to follow him, you go on the social media sites and it's at Fonz, Phonz, the therapist, or you can book an appointment with him at brightsidecounseling.org. So thank you so much again for joining me for this interview, and it will be linked to your written article on Authority Magazine, and I urge those of you who are watching to read the full article where he's got lots of great tips.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this interview, and I thank you for just taking your time out of your day to be able to talk with me.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so glad I got to meet you, and I'm so happy to hear about your work.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.